into the tram lines. It's Malkin on the inside, LaChapelle on the outside. Lights are still on. They'll work their way now into the start box. Got hands in the air. Lights out. Green, 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 and Malkin will lead him down to the bottom of the racetrack, coming through turn number 2.
Samut in second, runs a little bit wide, then 3 wide further back in the pack. Luke Conjanapatak in that black and white Don't Sleep energy drink. Sponsored Kart runs a little bit wide, he drops the back of the pack. Look at Gage Corn already up half a dozen positions. There is Max Mukaram just jumping up over the back of one of the AM drivers, Cristiano Bruski, I think that was. But it's Malkut leading from Samut in second, and then it looks like Chappelle and Sincere third and fourth, and somebody going wide coming out of turn number 5. Look back to see where the 2 red and black MPG cars as Matteo Quinto makes his move. Quinto in the green and white Tony kart for Team Padonia Racing. He moves up into P2.
Korn and Warner will need the chaos up front. They do not want to see Malkin getting away as he is right now. They would love to have a ton of chaos, so they're going to be able to work their way forward. We'll give you an update when they come back around. We'll give you the full field when they roll through out of turn number 15. Malkin leading the way right now. Number 134, Matteo Quinto, running very strongly. Good opening lap for Quinto as he goes up 3 spots into second. Marco Samet runs in third. Jeremy St. Cyr fourth. Max McCarroll in 5th spot. Oliver Warner on the opening lap, already up into 6th. And make that second as he throws it to the inside in turn number 2. He has gone from essentially the tail of the field to second in the matter of a couple of corners. Really, what, 18, 19 corners, a lap and a quarter. He's already into P2. Right at the tail of that group as well, the darker helmet. You can see that Gage Korn up into the top 10 as well. The opening couple of laps are crazy. And for Korn, hey, he's happy that Warner's up there because he needs that teammate to hold things up.
Oliver Warner just passed 4 drivers in 1 corner. And now he goes to the race lead from 16th on the grid. Oliver Warner leads from Matteo Quinto. That has got to be the best opening 2 laps of a race I've seen in a long, long time.
How about a lap and a half? Not even full 2 laps. Unbelievable run as he's able to get there with some aggressive moves. Everybody else checking up a little bit. Oliver Warner, I don't think he even expected that he would be up front with no karts ahead of him coming over to start lap number 2. We are just underway. Lap 3 getting rolling here now. Gage Korn up to P5 already. So both those drivers who started back in 15th and 16th, shot out of a cannon, they are your leaders. Everyone dicing and slicing here early. Korn trying to find a way in as well. LaChapelle in there in the 104, but he's kind of on the outside, getting hung out to dry here as Quinto's in there. Big move to the inside as well. Gage Korn's going to come over, climbs the curb a bit. Can he hold on? He does. He'll go to P3. So those drivers who had issues early have been out of the gate very strongly. They are P1 and P3 respectively.
David Cole came up to me at the end of practice day on Friday where we were looking for drivers to interview for the debrief. And he went, Henry, tell me about Oliver Warner. I went, kid's warm as toast. And David looked at me and I went, no, that means he's really good. And there's the proof. But Gage Korn saying, anything you can do, I can do just as well. It's a top gear from the rear for both MPG karts. From 16th and 17th to 1st and 2nd, 9.5 minutes remaining. Warner with that individual unique driving style, just again, that shows a little bit of moisture on the circuit. He's moving his body around in the seat. It's Warner, Korn, Quinto. So Warner would take an open ticket. Gage Korn would take the second open ticket, and the moment Matteo Quinto would take the reserve ticket. So the first 3 drivers on track would take the tickets as things stand. A long way to go though, and Malkut in 4th place. Now Malkut moves into P3, but he needs to finish in the top 2.
Yeah.
If you're an open driver, you have to finish in the top 2. And look at this coming around. This is Max Mukaram, the Lebanese driver from Virginia. A privateer entry. Someone has lit a fire under Max, and he is moving towards the front. Great stuff.
13 minutes plus 2 laps for the drivers here in the Mini Max category. Only 4.5 minutes in, so a long way to go still in the drivers here in Mini Max. But again, we saw what happened. Obviously, the big news of an issue in the pre-final set both of these drivers back to the tail. They finished first and second in that pre-final, lock out the front row like they had for all three heat races yesterday. And indeed, the storyline would have been, as we said from the get-go, they have to work together. They have to, they have to pick their way through. They got to not make mistakes. They have to hope that the drivers up front are battling like crazy. No, just the first lap and a half, and we'll work our way to the very front. And again, for Oliver Warner making that great move. We got 4 drivers up in turn number 2, got another one down in turn number 4. He went to the lead a lap and a half in. So this has been a tremendous performance. But now there is work to be done because we're just getting into it. Everybody's settling in. Max McCarram, maybe that's one of the best things for them. And you got a driver who hasn't been up front throughout the weekend. Yeah. Now he's kind of punching above the weight class right now. We'll see how he handles the pressure.
This is absolutely superb from Max McCarram. At the start of this year, I met Max for the first time at the start of this year down in Florida, and he moves into P2. Yeah. Fianchy, meanwhile, in 7th place, has set the fastest lap of the race. But Max McCarram, he said, I watched Grand Finals last year. I watched Christopher El Faghali for Lebanon win in Minimax, and it was so inspiring for us as drivers with roots in Lebanon. So I gave him Abdo El Faghali's phone number and said, look, contact Abdo, tell him that you exist. And Max did, and Abdo got back to him, and Max's dad said, look, we're not there yet, but in a while we're going to go to Lebanon, we're going to race, and we're going to meet our heroes. Well, Max, I got to say, you look ready to me. Are we going to have a new leader? Not quite. It's Warner, McCarram, and Korn. It's Warner with the open ticket. McCarram would take the second open ticket. Gage Korn would take the reserve. New leader, Max McCarram.
Where has this come from? We have not seen McCarram run in the top 5 all weekend long, but very strong out of the gate. He'll watch Warner go back by in turn number 6. This is when you've got to take your time. He'll go back to the inside of turn number 7. Not many passes down in 7. Ryan Norberg won. Add Max McCarram to it as well. He opens the door coming through turn number 9. He could potentially get freight trained. No, he's going to go side by side with La Chapelle. He's got to give it up as Quinto comes in there. Mateo Quinto right in there, P4 once again. MPG goes 1-2 with Warner and Korn. So much action back and forth. There hasn't really been much of a breakaway, although we are getting potentially a 7-kart group stretching out here right now. They've got a little bit of a back gap from Fianchy back to Feliciano Bruschi, about 0.6 of a second as this front group trying to pull away.
Yeah, behind Bruschi, you've got Ryan Gandor in 9th, Jeremy Sancia 10th, Marco Samut down to 11th, then Martin Bertocchini in 12th. Gage Grant didn't take the start. The 16 drivers that did start this race are all still running. It's an MPG 1-2 privateer driver. Max McCarram in 3rd, and he runs wide coming out of turn number 4. Game over, McCarram. No, he saves it. He saves it, but he drops the back of the lead group. Okay, Max, big moment. Shake it off. Get back into rhythm. Scrub the dirt and detritus off your tyres and focus. You've still got 5 minutes. Don't overdrive it. That you can get back to the front as now Malcook comes at the inside. Sheath the back. Here comes Jackson LaChapelle. So it is Warner, Korn and Quinto. 1, 2, 3. They would be your 3 ticket holders as things stand.
This has been a very interesting race for sure, as was the pre-final, because we saw a lot of a great speed and almost domination out of Isaac Malkit yesterday in the final 2 heat races. He's not shown it as of yet. He's been in the middle of a fight, to be honest. He's P5 right now, right behind La Chapelle. He's got Fianchy coming up behind him too. We'll see whether or not we have some late race pace out of Isaac Malkit, currently P5. There's a move for La Chapelle. He goes to the inside of Quinto, and a driver's all the way off the racetrack further back. I think that might have been...
It was Bruschi or Bortocchini.
Okay, that's a potential there out back. So again, a driver dropping the wheel. We talked all about it. Not hard when you're carrying so much speed from turn number 2. All it takes is you drop a wheel and it immediately gets shot off the racetrack. Some drivers have gotten over not that far off, others way back into the grass in that corner, but nonetheless, up front, still these 2 drivers running essentially P1 and P2. Gage Korn being a pretty good wingman right now.
I have to say, so Korn, Quinto, La Chapelle, She, and McCarram are all reserved drivers. The only open drivers, non-reserve drivers in this front group are Oliver Warner and Isaac Malcoot. So Warner would take the first open ticket, Korn would take the second open ticket, and at the moment LaChapelle, would take the third. There is a problem, 2 drivers, and there we go. And I have to say, right, obviously 2 drivers off, that looks like Marco Samu, and that's Feliciano Bruschi. We'll talk about that later on. There's been an incident, obviously, and somebody has pulled off at the side of the circuit coming through turn number 6. What I would say, it's number 171. That is Ryan Chandler for the RPG team out of the group. You saw Bruschi running over to the other driver, which was Marco Samu, to make sure he was okay.
So yeah, there was contact between those 2 drivers, I believe, down in turn number 13. The right-hander that leads into the final complex of corners. They got together, got into the barriers there. Again, laps ticking away here right now. Remember, 13 minutes plus 2 laps. We're past the 10-minute mark, so down to a little less than 3 minutes before we get that 2 to go. Hopefully we'll get somebody on that scene of the incident. The drivers come through the double apex corner here. They'll work their way back out through turn number 12. And a little bit of a gap here right now for Oliver Warner. He gets a couple of kart lengths as they work their way down here. This is, I believe, where the incident was. They've already got that cleaned up there. That's good.
Yeah, and now we can talk about it. We'll talk about this lead battle 2 minutes ago. Bruschi, in the Grand Finals last year, somebody else crashed from Hungary, kart rolled over. Bruschi stopped his kart to make sure he was okay and actually moved the driver off the circuit. That young man, there is something about he's done it again. That's the second time I've seen him do it, rushing over to another driver to make sure they're okay. And that goes above and beyond any result on the track. It's raining! Yeah. It's raining! Look at everyone running wide at turn number 2. The cat's going to be thrown amongst the pigeons. It's Warner and Korn, but it's raining down at number turn 2. Warner's the guinea pig. Warner is the guinea pig. He's the one that's got to tiptoe his way around. On a spin. Bortolini takes out Quinto. Yeah. There goes 2 contenders. And who's that leading now? Is that LaChapelle? No, it's LaChapelle in third.
Yeah, the MPG drivers are handling it right now. David Cole just let me know, raining significantly harder onto the track. Gage Korn has gone to P1. So indeed, the rain that we expected starting to arrive. Watch these drivers really trying to get the body weight over. They're running the outside line. Key is to try to keep that power down. We're less than a minute and a half away from the 2-minute signal, and we have just thrown something wild at these young drivers. All of them trying to find grip on the racetrack. A little drop there for Gage Korn. Right now, the 2 MPG drivers are pulling away up front. Then look at this run. I love the line right now for Oliver Warner outside, trying to stay away from the grip, driving it back in. You know what a rain line looks like. And with these drivers on the slick mojos, checkered flag being thrown. They've thrown the checkered flag early. And it's going to be the 133 of Gage Korn. I don't know why we went checker there. They threw the checkered flag.
Maybe it could have been a safety issue. The race director could have thought it's getting too dangerous. We can't stop the race. I don't know. The checkered flag has come out. I was going to say that Oliver Warner taking that wet line, you've got to stay off. You've got to stay off the rubber. I don't know. I think that I'm getting word there that the race director said it was raining too hard and he didn't want to red flag the race. We've done over 75% of the race distance, and that would have been a full result, and they wouldn't have taken the restart. Look at that now, the rain is coming down. Don't forget, these drivers are 10, 11 and 12 years old. They didn't get a white flag. They weren't aware that it was the last lap. That will cause an issue. However, the results on track, Gage Korn, Oliver Warner, they take the 2 open tickets. Third across the line, taking the reserve ticket, is Max Mokaram from Virginia via Lebanon. He goes to his first grand final, and I think Rob, I think if it was an older class, a junior or a senior or a masters, they would have let him go. Yeah, when it's down to kids, I think the safety, so the race director he made an audible. He made an audible on safety
There's no doubt about it, they made a quick call, because obviously they were about where they the drivers to get his way into McCarran, as it's G drivers who British team this year.
I mean, a quarter. And I said, a run misses at 6. Luke Conjanapitak, your man Darren has come.